Okay. So hello, we're team one. Our presentation is going to be on Starbucks. For our introductions, I'm Erica Campos. My major is business administration with a concentration in human resources. This is my second year at CSUB and I am a senior. I transferred from BC. And my future plans after graduation are to promote within my current company.
Hey, hello, I'm Jacqueline Arstiga. My major is business with a concentration in general business. This is my last year at CSUB, and my future plans is to build professional experience and start my own business.
Oh, hello, my name is Dorian Behill. My major is business administration with a concentration in management. This is also my last year here, and my future plans after graduating are to teach and possibly start a nonprofit on the side.
I'm Madeline. My major is also business. I'm concentrating in finance. This is my last year. And for the future, I want to start working at a bank first.
Hello, my name is Raul Carriedo. My major is in business administration with a concentration on general business. This is my last semester here at CS2B, and my future plans is to promote in the automotive industry.
Hello, my name is Dulce Castañeda. My major is also business administration with a concentration in healthcare management. This is my last year at CSUB as well, and for future plans, I would have liked to work in a healthcare facility and help improve operations and overall efficiency.
So for our desired jobs and occupations, mine is a project management specialist.
Mine is a financial advisor, financial and investment analyst.
Mine's a sales manager.
Mine, in a perfect world, would be financial and investment analyst.
And for mine, it would be a healthcare management.
My desired job is also personal financial advisor.
So for our summary reports of our desired job that we found on ONET, for project management specialist, mine was I need to know knowledge in Microsoft Office, project management software, have a bachelor's degree, and the career has a median wage of 100,000 annually. And the job market is growing faster than the average projected growth of 5 to 6%.
For a financial and investment advisor analyst, they look at financial information, markets, and the economy to get advice on where to invest. They need good math, problem solving, and communication skills. Most work in offices on computers and must have deadlines. A bachelor degree is usually required, and some get extra certifications like CFA to move up. The average pay is around 100,000 a year.
Leading a sales team, ensuring that goods or services reach customer are the responsibilities of a sales manager. They use sales data to determine working and where to make improvements, set targets, and train and mentor their employees. They require a solid grasp of sales and marketing in addition in a great staff and leadership. Communication and problem solving are used to succeed in this role. The majority of them putting in long hours at their offices and communicate with their staff and clients on a regular basis. Years of experience and a bachelor's degree are typically required. They earn roughly around 138,000 annually on average, and the field is predicted to continue expanding.
So for the financial and investment analysts, they typically study trends, the market, numbers, and they do that not only for businesses but for people as well. And one of the most crucial things that I think is important when it comes to that role is being able to take all this complex information that not everybody knows about, and being able to simplify it in very simple terms so that anybody can have a comprehension of the information that you're trying to convey to them. Um, Also, you do need a degree, a bachelor's degree, whether in economics, finance, accounting, or business. That's usually required, along with years of experience. And that's typically done in an office setting or a remote setting. And the average salary is around 100 grand per year. And the demand for that is also expected to grow over the next decade.
And so for healthcare management, it's very important to know how to plan, direct, and coordinate medical and health services in hospitals and clinics, and manage care organizations, public health agencies, or similar organizations. Um, so most of these occupations require a 4-year bachelor's degree, but not all, and a considerable amount of work related skill, knowledge, or experience is needed um, for these occupations. So, for example, an accountant must complete 4 years of college and work for several years in the accounting industry to be considered or qualified. So, same thing with healthcare management.
For mine, personal financial advisors help individuals manage their money by creating strategies for investments, retirement, and their overall financial goals. This role requires strong analytical skills and also good communication skills and lots of knowledge of finance and the financial markets. It does offer high earning potential, and there's also high growth potential for this job in the market. Most or all advisors need a bachelor's degree in finance or business related fields.
For the big five personality traits results, I found that I really agreed with the results that I got because I am typically pretty empathetic towards others' feelings. I am well organized. I do enjoy organizing and putting things in order. And I also enjoy being creative, and I'm very shy. So it was pretty accurate on that part.
I somewhat disagree with my results. I feel like some parts did fit. I do believe I am a kind and caring person. However, I wouldn't say that I'm a very social person. I'm more quiet and like being around people I'm comfortable with.
I don't agree with the results of the Big Five personality test because to me, I believe that a test can't define who a person truly is. There are some answers that seem accurate or relatable to me, but personally, its personality is more deep.
For me, I agree with my results. I feel that each one is is a pretty close representation of what I would have given myself if I had to gauge each one individually without the questions. So I was pretty satisfied.
I agree. I think I would also agree with the results of the big person 5 personality traits. They're fairly accurate. I do agree that I am highly introverted and also agree on the level of consciousness and liking things to be organized and scheduled.
I did agree with my results. The top factors I got were agreeableness and extroversion. The scores indicated being warm and kind, and I think that is true for the most part. And also, I do feel like I'm an extrovert most of the time, but I think everyone has those times when they don't feel like being an extrovert. But for the most part, I thought it was accurate.
Lessons from the big five personality results that I think our group learned. I think our group can learn each other's personality types from the test, but like Raul said, it might not always be accurate. Like more goes into your personality than just however you score yourself on these tests. But I do think it gives a little bit of insight, and then from that we can learn how to work together based on each other's personality types and learn what each other's strengths and weaknesses are and like play to that for our group meetings or group assignments.
Yeah, I believe our group learned that everyone has different personalities and strengths, which helps us understand how to work together.
Yeah, what we gained is that everyone has strengths and weaknesses that shape how we think or work or even interact with others. We also realized that no one personality type is better than another, and each trait can bring something valuable to a group.
Yeah, so this allowed each of us to see that, we are different, like everyone, is saying, and we see everyone has strengths and weaknesses, which is different from the last person. And, like whether or not we agree with it or we don't, it's in those moments where I feel like when you disagree, we get to know each other better because we're able to open up and tell each other, how we view ourselves and rather than some personality test telling us. And I feel that that allows us to be more efficient and work cohesively together, especially when you know your team, because ultimately you're going to work better with people that you trust and that you know versus complete strangers.
So similar to what Dorian added, I think we are um able to gain self-awareness, as well as how diverse or similar team members are in terms of personality. And overall, I think it encourages like mutual respect and flexibility, um, and strategic use of individual strengths to function better as a team.
I mean, I think everyone pretty much covered it. My answer kind of includes everything that you guys already said, but I like what Erica said. Like the test is a good insight, but just it's not something to rely on 100%, but it does give like some sort of insight to improve our teamwork and collaboration.
So for the RISEC personality types, mine were realistic, conventional, and enterprising.
My personality types were enterprising, conventional, and realistic. This means I like being a leader, making plans, and working on hands-on projects. These result best match with careers in business, management, or human resources.
Mine were enterprising and artistic. To me, it made sense because I do enjoy the business side of entertainment. For example, when it comes to music, I like following up on which record label an artist is signed to because it shows what level of status in the music industry they are in.
And my personality or my RISEC personality traits were social, artistic, and enterprising, which I agree with 100% because I'm pretty social. I love meeting new people and learning about them and making new connections. And I also consider myself an artist in case you couldn't tell. I like to write my own music, sing, play, and that's my way of expressing myself and also enterprising as well. Um, there's certain aspects of business that I desire to get into, not just for like professional purposes, but also, just to like expand your portfolio and just to gain or to expand on your exposure to different things.
Oh, my basic personality traits, according to ONET Profiler, are categorized as enterprising and social. And I would say it makes sense because it does fall under the category of my career choice path of both business and healthcare management.
The types that I got were enterprising, investigative, and social. And kind of like I already said, I do feel like I'm an extrovert, so the social made sense and enterprising. I mean, we're all business majors, so that kind of makes sense as well.
And Jacqueline.
Structure, practical work. I enjoy planning, organizing, helping others reach goals. This means I would do well in business or human resources careers where I can use communication and teamwork skills.
And my summary was similar to Jacqueline's traits, and I think I would also do well in business or human resources, and I would hope so, because that's my concentration.
Um, My results show that I have interest in entertainment and growth and succession. I enjoy seeing athletes and celebrities grow each year and will be better each day. I believe because of my obsession with this, it will make me a great sport or entertainment agent.
So for mine, I like helping people. I always help or offer to help any chance I get. I believe in paying it forward, being the person that you wish you had, in your life. And I love expressing myself creatively and taking the lead when it comes to, being creative or coming up with new ideas. And for me, I feel like I'm at my best when I'm able to do something meaningful that, that has significant value to me. And when I'm also able to use my creativity. And one of the things that I also like too is I love turning ideas into real things, whether it's helping somebody with a business or whether it's helping somebody with an idea that they may not know how to bring to life. I don't know. I like doing all that stuff.
And so for me, as stated previously, my race tech shows that under enterprising, I have a high interest in business and finance and management, as well as human resources and healthcare. And for the social aspect, I would say I enjoy teaching people and advising others, which I would agree with personally. But yeah.
My results gave me some suggestions like public relations specialist, marketing manager, fundraiser, and human resource manager. I mean, it's not my dream jobs, but I'd be open to them, I suppose.
All right, so for our company, obviously we chose Starbucks. A little bit history of the company. Starbucks started in Seattle, Washington in 1971. At first, it sold whole coffee beans. Howard S. turned the business into a traditional coffee house in the 1980s, and it developed quickly after that. Starbucks is the biggest coffee shop company in the world, with more than 38,000 shops around the world. The company is known for its excellent beverages, great customer service, and significant online presence through mobile ordering and rewards.
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about the legal environment of Starbucks. Right now, they're facing a few legal challenges ranging from union disputes, shareholder litigations, and supply chain labor claims. It's important because legal challenges can increase costs, damage brand reputation, and disrupt their overall operations. Right now, some of the things I found is that Starbucks is facing a shareholder lawsuit alleging that they misled their investors about sales performance. I guess they didn't include that their sales were dropping and that's misleading in a lot of ways. And there are ongoing union strikes across the US. And also there's allegations of labor violations in some of their international supply chains. It had mentioned like in Brazil, one of their coffee suppliers. So that's not pretty for any business. And our recommendation is that they just increase their transparency and start actively negotiating with unions and also sub for their supply chain issue to strengthen the audits to mitigate any legal risks.
So for their human resources and diversity, an issue they have is with understaffing and scheduling problems. These issues are important because understaffing and poor scheduling can affect morale, retention, and fair scheduling. And understaffing also coincides with poor customer service. And obviously, poor customer service is going to make people want to shop there less, get their coffee there less, find somewhere else to get it. So that could also affect their sales. The current impact understaffing has staff report 76% of the staff are experiencing overwhelming paces of work. 69% report unpredictable scheduling, and 93% of staff report longer customer wait times due to understaffing. So our recommendation for these problems would be to prioritize stabilizing staffing levels. And they can do this by aligning staffing with peak times so employees aren't overburdened and customer service doesn't fall short during these busy times.
Okay, now moving into the marketing side of Starbucks, the main issue the company faces is strong competition and customers feeling like the prices are getting too high. Many other coffee shops and even fast food places offer similar drinks for less money, which makes it harder for Starbucks to stand out. This is important because good marketing helps keep customers loyal. It allows Starbucks to promote new drinks, attract new customers, and remind people why the brand is worth the price. The current impact is that some customers are choosing cheaper competitors, especially as prices continue to rise. Also, excitement around new drinks and social media trends doesn't always turn into strong in-store sales. Our recommendations for Starbucks is to use more targeted promotions, offer better personalized rewards in the app, create marketing campaigns that connect with different types of customers. Only using influencers and limited time offers can help attract younger customers and increase sales.
All right, so I'm going to be talking about management. And the issue that Starbucks is facing is they're having trouble dealing with balancing fast company growth while still keeping every store running smoothly. And they're getting a lot of pressure coming from the corporate level. And that pressure doesn't always line up with what the store managers and the baristas are dealing with on, a day-to-day basis. And the reason why that's important is because strong management is the backbone of essentially everything. Store culture, how employees feel, customer experience. And if managers are stretched too thin or not supported at all, or if they don't feel supported, it's going to show. So the store will suffer, the team gets burnt out, and the customer experience drops. And when it comes to the current impact, right now some stores are doing great, but a lot of them are struggling with mixed or unclear communication, high expectations from corporate, and even uneven performance from store to store. And all of this, it puts a stress on the managers and the baristas, and it creates an inconsistent experience for the customer, which could deter them from wanting to go back, especially if one of those locations just so happens to be, the one that they, or like one of the only locations that may be around them. But our recommendation for Starbucks would be that they should invest more into their store level managers, which means better training, more support, and actually listening to the manager's feedback. And instead of trying to expand so quickly, they should really slow down in areas where, their stores are already overwhelmed, because that will allow for better decisions to be made, and it'll come from focusing on the people running the stores every day instead of having unreal expectations from the very top.
So I'm going to be going over operations management and information system. So the biggest issue with Starbucks operations information system challenge is managing mobile orders and in-store workflow congestion, as well as mobile ordering has grown rapidly. So many stores struggle to balance digital orders with walk-in customers. The current system often sends too many mobile orders to the store at once, which could overwhelm the baristas and slow down production. And this is important because the issue with this, it affects the service speed or the order accuracy, as well as it stresses out employees, um, and doesn't really help too much with customer satisfaction. So when mobile orders pile up in store, customers experience long wait times, and baristas face increased pressure, leading to burnout and higher turnover. Since mobile orders account for a significant portion of Starbucks' revenue, the system must be operate efficiently. So the current impact The increase in mobile order has caused longer wait times, as well as crowded pile-up areas and higher stress for the employees, as I stated previously. Um, and so this slows down service and leads to more mistakes and can affect overall customer satisfaction. And so one recommendation would be for Starbucks to improve its mobile ordering system by adjusting order flow during busy times and creating separate stations for mobile pickups. And this would help speed up service and make the work environment a lot easier for the employees.
Okay, so for the economics, right now Starbucks is facing economic pressure from higher costs coming from inflation and trying to keep up with competitive wages for their employees, just like a lot of other businesses right now. And also, they're having slower customer traffic here in the US, which is one of their bigger markets, or probably their biggest market. It's important because obviously this is going to affect their profitability and growth. It's also going to affect Starbucks' ability to maintain their premium pricing model. I think someone mentioned this, but a lot of places do have competitive prices for similar drinks, so they need to be able to keep up with that. And this impact, I mean, they're not losing too much money because their net revenue in the fiscal year for 2025 is up 3% year over year. And then in Q4, the same thing. Their revenue was 9.6 billion, which is also up 5%. But I found this information on another website that input costs for brewed coffee are up around 49% since 2020 due to inflation. So our recommendation is that they keep their focus on cost efficiency and strategic management for all their stores and keep strengthening their international growth, but don't forget about the US because that's where their main market is. So just maintain that value for US customers.
For my section on finance, the issue Starbucks is facing is rising operating costs from labor, inflation, and supply chains expenses. This matters because the expenses grow faster than revenue. It reduces profit margins and slows down company growth. Right now, Starbucks is paying more for wages, ingredients, and transportation, which has lowered their operating margins. My recommendation is that Starbucks should increase automation, negotiate long-term supplier contracts, and focus on high-margin products to protect their profit.
So here we have a video that kind of encompasses everything that we've talked about in the last few slides. Here we go.
In fact, the surge in strikes just keeps growing. Today, organizers are calling it the Red Cup Rebellion. Unionized Starbucks workers are walking out at stores nationwide on Red Cup Day. That is supposed to be one of the company's busiest days of the year. If you didn't know, Red Cup Day is when the company gives out its limited edition reusable holiday cups for free when you order any kind of a holiday drink. Workers are protesting the company's bargaining practices and issues, highlighting around staffing and scheduling. Now, since 2021, the union has organized more than 360 stores, but have yet to reach a full labor contract with the company at any of them. We reached out to Starbucks for comment. Of course, they told us, quote, "We are aware that Workers United has publicized the day of action at a small subset of our U.S. stores. We remain committed to working with all partners." They go on to say, despite escalating rhetoric and recurring rallies demanding a contract, Workers United has not agreed to meet progress contract bargaining in more than 5 months. For clarification, Starbucks refers to its employees as partners. Let's bring in one of those partners. That is Michelle Eisen. She is one of the leaders of the National Starbucks Workers United Union and has worked as a barista at Starbucks for 13 years. Michelle, thanks for joining us on CNBC. You've been there 13 years. You obviously like the company on a macro level, otherwise you would have left a long time ago. So what are you and your team looking for now?
Right now, we are looking for a fair contract. We are looking for a contract that will address a lot of the issues that we as the workers on the floors of these cafes have with the company. And right now, we're highlighting one of those specific issues, and that is staffing. And the company seeming inability to rectify that situation, or in some cases, even address it as an issue.
What specifically with staffing is the issue, or maybe lack of staffing is the issue?
It's continued short staffing. It's the expectation of one worker doing the job of 5 workers. I mean, the reality is when you have less work staff on the floor, you increase your profit margin. And the company knows that. And they exploit that to the nth degree. And in a situation like today, Red Cup Day, the barista is under that much more pressure to produce drinks at an extreme level. And it's not only the worker that suffers in this situation, but it's also the customer that suffers from short staffing. And I think at the very least, the company would want to address that for that.
You know, I do wonder from the macro part, you don't have to tell us what store, but Michelle, what city are you in? Can you tell us that?
Sure, I'm in Buffalo, New York. I'm at the very first store to unionize in the US.
Okay, so Buffalo. So I do wonder though, has Starbucks said to you, Michelle, we'd love to have 3 or 4 baristas in with you or somebody else, but we just can't find people? Like, we hear that a lot.
No, they've never said that to me directly. I think it would be a very weird statement considering we get calls at the store daily asking if we're hiring. So it is not for a want of people wanting to do this job. It was the realization by this company that they could make more money by spending less money on labor and still expecting the same level of production. And on a day like today, when it's already sort of a horrendous situation for these workers, we, the unionized workers, just decided we weren't going to do it.
And what else are you guys looking for, Michelle?
Well, we are looking for increased benefits packages. Benefits are the only reason that I came to this company in 2010. And those benefits have started to go down the drain, you know, very slowly. But it's to a point where, you know, I broke my ankle and I paid for my entire medical costs out of pocket with this company that I have insurance through. So, I mean, we're just looking for improvements across the board. This is a multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation that can certainly afford to take care of their employees.
So in the video, staff note that when they're understaffed, it becomes an issue about safety, stress, and fairness to the team. They often get the short end of the stick when customer service falls short because there aren't enough staff. A lot of the time, customers are frustrated that service is slow or they're running late, and it ends up being the floor staff that it gets taken out on rather than who's really at fault, which is corporate who isn't hiring enough staff, or maybe even management at that store if they aren't scheduling the workers fairly or properly. So similar to our recommendations, staff stated that they would like to see a change in scheduling, more staff on shifts, and recognition of their role so that they can do their job well. And while Starbucks' profits aren't suffering yet, I think that if they continue on treating their workers the way they do, and the workers get to unionize the way that the Buffalo location did, I think that they might see a shift in their profits, and hopefully they recognize to make the change before that happens.
The surgeon.
Okay, these were our references for all of our slides. And that's the end of our presentation.